Hello, and welcome to Amplifying the Voices of African Researchers, a podcast series by the Climate and Development Knowledge Network Africa, where we spotlight emerging science evidence, highlight local knowledge, and amplify African-led research shaping climate action across the continent. This early career fellowship is supported by the International Development Research Center and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. Thanks for making our podcast part of your routine. I'm your host, Herein, and in each episode, we sit down with experts, especially early career researchers, who are shaping Africa's climate future through groundbreaking and policy-relevant research. With the just ended African Climate Summit in September at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, there have been some key takeaways with Africa's new role in the global climate solutions. Notable amongst them is the ambitious renewable energy goals. Christian Leigh, one of our fellow, enlightens us about a management tool used to optimize the use of renewable energy sources. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Emma. I'm happy to be here today.
It's good to have you. Could you let our listeners know a little bit more about yourself?
Thank you. I am Noudjimti Christian Leigh from Chad, Central Africa country. So I am currently a PhD student. I am at the end of my journey. So my work basically focuses on weather forecasting based on machine learning to enable an intelligent management of a power grid with high grade of renewable energy.
Great. All the best with your doctoral thesis. Now, Christian, could you tell us more about this tool that you use to manage the optimization of energy sources?
We are in framework of climate change. Renewable energy is one of best solutions that can help to reduce the emission of greenhouses. Though we have a huge potential of renewable energy in the world and notably in Africa. So there are kind of energy that we want really to exploit them to lessen the emission of greenhouse in the demand of power grid. But as you know, the exploitation of renewable energy comes with one default, because renewable energy are really or deeply they deeply depend on the weather. So it is important to know how the weather will behave in advance to help to better manage them. So in this framework that my work, my PhD try to give tools, solutions that can help a manager of renewable energy to have a good overview of the production of energy, so they can inject good and optimize the energy they exploit, so we can have a reliable power grid, so a reliable energy, and we can also augment the injection of renewable energy in our power grid.
Great. So tell us what actually led you into researching on renewable energy. Is there anything that struck you? Tell us why you are interested in renewable energy sources.
Working in renewable energy sources is something that is a passion also, because as you know, energy in general is something essential for the development. And if you can give people reliable energy with affordable amounts, they can access it. So if people access energy, they can manage to develop themselves easily with any other sectors. So it's an essential part of our society. So working specifically in renewable energy, it is more important than that, because renewable energy, we have energy that is durable and that is less harm to our planet. So it's something that is better for us. And as Africa country, we have a huge potential of this energy. So it is important to harness it and to exploit it to give our people energy. And then that can help also to augment the level of jobs in Africa.
Yes, we have so much potential and a lot of renewable energy on the continent. How long have you been working on this?
As you know, I am also an electrical engineer, so I defended my master thesis in 2020. So it seemed like a kind of 5 or 6 years I am in this field, and my PhD, as I said before, began in 2021. And something that is I want also to underline, it is more, and that is why my is for I mix the domain of renewable energy and artificial intelligence to give a better solution to people, especially in Africa.
Great. I presume you have encountered some challenges as you've been working on this, since renewable energy is quite new on the continent, although we are trying to embrace it. Could you share with us a couple of challenges and what you did to overcome whilst pursuing these management tool as you are working on?
Great. And the parts of the great challenge of my PhD journey is basically about data. As you know, working with artificial intelligence, that means we have a huge amount of data, and having also the data, it's something that is more important. And as I am working on weather forecasting to enable the intelligent management of power grid, I think it's about 1 year after we start our PhD journey. It's similar. We discovered that in our local weather station, we don't have the kind of data we want, because here in the local weather station we have just monthly and barely daily data, and but our work needs hourly data. This kind of problem, the lack of data, is something that we really face in our journey, and that was really challenging, because at this time that means we have to end our journey, our research, because we have not the data we want to work on it. So fortunately, we find this is data in a database of NASA. So this database gave us the whole part of data and the daily data we want, and that help us to design our models. But even if finding this data in the data with the database of NASA, it was also a little bit challenging, because we want hourly data, but at this time hourly data wasn't available. So we have again to try to extrapolate, find some formal mathematical formula to translate, to discretize this hourly data, this daily data into hourly data before to feed our artificial intelligence models. This part of research was a little bit challenging, but having overcome it is also a little relieving, and that is kind of a win in our path in this research.
Okay, as you were just letting us understand the challenges, I feel like you've already identified a gap. So I'm going to suggest to you and your team, the next thesis you should work on is about producing hourly data for this kind of stuff.
We already have an article. Yes,
Okay.
that's right in about this. So we show how we take some assumptions and the formula you use to translate this daily data into hourly data before to feed machine learning models.
Great. You've already solved the problem that you have identified. That is very good of you. And throughout the session, we've noticed that many African researchers lack data to back their findings. And this is something that we could be looking forward to rectifying. Dan, have you tested this tool already, and what are the outcomes?
Yes, we already designed an application, a web application that we really want at this time, as it is only in a simulation, so that is only in computer. We want now to transcribe it and test it in real data with real power grid to see how they can behave. And as I said we have data that we retrieve them in a NASA database. So we want also maybe try to assess them in local weather to see if our models really give the same output that if it feed with the local data. So that we are in this path, and we are on the process to try these models to see how we can behave with actual data.
Okay. And is there anything interesting you found in the course of working on this management tool? Did you find anything interesting that you'd like to share with us?
It is important to show that we want to inject renewable energy in power grid, but it's a little bit challenging because we have some instability that's come with renewable energy. So we have to maintain some amount also of conventional energy in power grid to find a give balance of renewable energy and conventional energy, because if you can find someone in the road, they will say we have a huge amount of maybe of sun in our country, but we don't know why. Maybe the government take some policy or some decision to inject them in the power grid so they can deliver us, but it's not really as simple as they think, because injecting renewable energy in power grid come with many challenge that we have really to be aware of to inject them and to have a reliable energy. So that is something that people must know also.
You have just unraveled the mystery of why we always thought that, yes, this was something simple for us to do. So what would you say, now that you've unraveled this mystery, what do you have any recommendations to policymakers or stakeholders? How should they embrace this management tool? How should they also embrace the introduction of renewable energy when it comes to their national power supply?
For this, the first thing I will recommend is obviously about the lack of data, as I said before, because in the realm of artificial intelligence in general, to design solutions that reflect local reality, we should have data that is ours. So the solution engineers will design will also reflect our. So for me, it is important for African countries to work on me to have the data that reflect our reality. So the solution we will design also will reflect our reality. And in the realm of energy, as we saw, injecting a huge amount of energy into the power grid comes with a lot of challenge. So it is important to maybe have policies that can help people to have just some small kit of solar module or panel or something like that, so people can acquire this some kind of a small kit so they can empower their house or something like that. So it is important to have this kind of so that can a little bit release or free the load of a power grid. So injection of a great amount of power plants will help also to power other kinds of industry or grid or apartments. So that's something I want really to encourage the African decision makers to help people to empower themselves before to find a grid solution of power plants.
Thank you for your work and also striving to take Africa to the level where we desire. Do you have any facts that you'd want to share with us again concerning your work?
But I want really to encourage young people, especially African, to really advance in the demand of research, because in Africa, after people finish their master thesis, they don't want to get in PhD journey, because maybe for them it is just for people that have to maybe work in I don't know, some institution of educational institution, but they want to work in industry, something like that. I just want to tell them that having a PhD can also open doors of job in industries. So it is important to young people to engage in this path, and to develop a continent. We have to develop, we have to reinforce, first of all, our research domain before, because that research domain will support everything that will come later.
I love your line of thinking, and thanks for that great advice. Yes, we should pursue higher education to be more productive in our industry. So it's not only about academia. That is rightly said. Thank you so much, Christian, for letting us see the path of how to use management tool to optimize renewable energy. And in the beginning, as I said, we have just jumped on, Africa has just jumped on to this ambitious renewable energy goals. And we were trying to move from 2% to 20% at least by the year 2030. So we have barely 5 years. And fellows like you are also contributing so much to us grasping and taking advantage of renewable energy. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I wish you the very best in the completion of your thesis. And I hope that we would jump on another call sometime as you get to let us understand how to record these hourly data that you spoke about earlier. It would be very nice to get to hear about your article. Thank you, Chris, and do have a good day. This podcast is part of the CDKN Africa Fellowship, working to elevate African voices in climate science, policy, and practice. Until next time, think locally led research, publish widely, and let Africa's researchers' voice echo in every local and global climate conversation.